Hello everybody, Fanny here and beautiful who really wants to be a part of the video. She's been jumping around today. Okay, we hope you're doing good. I am onto something amazing. So it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm about to go to bed, but I was like, I need to record this right now. Wow. So I'm still working on this painting, okay, that I'm gonna call something like Ministry of Sound. You remember this band, Ministry of Sound? I was listening to this when I was doing these rave parties when I was younger in my 20s. And I don't know, this is just what keeps coming into my mind as I'm painting that. I was listening to it. I keep having these dreams and ideas that come about how to build a little vessel, right? How to build a spaceship. So it's pretty much the only thing that's holding us back right now from building those high velocity spaceships is the anti-gravity formula. Okay, so I think I found it. It's like I'm gonna put a patent on this thing. So I explained all this in my team buildings, right? So I kept thinking about, okay, I'm gonna re-explain really quick because I want to spend time mostly talking about the painting and how the alchemical process, like it's incredible. Oh my God, like, wow, I don't know where to start. Okay, so I kept thinking about, I see the walls of the spaceship. It's like a steel, it's like a metal mixed with crystals. Because the crystals, when you have the watch, the crystals, there is always quartz in it. It's a very good conduct. Even in the pyramids of Egypt, it's granite mixed with quartz, right? Even in the king's chamber, in the sarcophagus, they studied the rock. There's quartz in there. This is what makes the high frequencies of the pyramids. So we know that quartz is a good conduct. I also know that crystals are very sensitive to temperature. So some crystals are more sensitive to temperatures than others. So the quartz, for example, is sensitive to hot temperatures. So if you boil the quartz, it will break. While there are other crystals that are not that sensitive to temperatures, you can boil them, like the green one, the jade, for example. The jade, you can boil it. High temperature, it's not gonna break. Okay, so I see in these walls of the spaceship the metal mixed with crystals, and depending on some areas it will be a certain crystals, and depending on some other areas it will be mixed with other fusion with other crystals, depending on if we want to work on gravity or anti-gravity. Okay, so here's the concept. So the factors involved are temperature, quartz, steel, like a metal, sound, okay, the vibration of the sound. I saw Matthias in one of these, Matthias De Stefano. You can find his shows on Gaia TV. He's amazing, incredible. Oh my God, every time our journey is just so similar. Everything that he's done in the journey, I was doing the same thing. I'm pretty sure, you know what, I wouldn't be surprised if we've actually crossed each other without knowing, before, because that was crazy. Every time I listen to his story and everything that he's done, the places he's been to, and the way he perceives things, so like it's such a synchrony, and it really comforts me in the idea that many of us have the same mission, and we're placed at certain places, and you're working on one side of the mission, I'm working on one side of the message, and displaying it to certain publics also different. And so for some reason I'm turning towards technology, all this stuff. I don't have a science degree, I don't have a engineering degree or anything, but through the art, I've been able to channel information and like crazy, like wow. So he was saying that the pyramids were built with the technology of sound, that they would be placing sound all around the pyramid with a vibration. Apologies. So high that, see, I'm starting yawning. Every time I start talking, channeling, I just like that I start yawning. It means it's like I have spirits around me, like talking through me as well. Oh, and even my throat. My throat is, I feel pressure on my throat right now. So okay. The sound, yes. So the sound will be so high frequency that then the weight of the stones would become lighter. So people would be able to manipulate, carry the stones, because the sound would change the weight of the rocks. And then you see that, I saw that in Robert Grant's page. He was showing this experiment with the water, right? A drop of water that would be levitating through sound. Also on Forbidden Knowledge, they were showing vibrations of sound and rocks, literally rocks, levitating. Okay, so it's now proven scientifically that this is accurate. Okay, so sound. So vibration, what is it, the sound? It's the vibration of the frequency. So vibration, crystals, temperature, metal, and yes. And so then, so here is how it works. Why the temperature and the crystals? So imagine water. When you put water in an ice tray, the water in the liquid form has a volume that is smaller than the ice, right? So you put water in an ice tray. If it's completely full, the ice, you will see it inflates, comes out, right? So because the temperature changes the volume. So with the crystals, that would be the same thing. The vibration of the crystal, for example, the quartz, put it to a high temperature, will start breaking, right? Because it's sensitive to heat, start breaking, vibrating with the sound as well, conducting the energy, right, through the steel and the quartz all around. So this is how we create a circuit all around the spaceship. Instead of having a big how do you call it, engine with like fuel, all of this stuff, that would be just now free energy activated just like that with the natural forces. So here, a natural force. Okay, so I think we could also use solar panels from the outside, right, to conduct that, activate this first energy inside and activate the whole process. Okay, so then it's like, so then here is how it works. So I was like, okay, I didn't even know I was going to put this on my painting. It just comes one thing after another. So you look at this. Oh, I'm doing backwards always. So I had this painting and I was like, at first, see everything it represents. I put some glitter all inside, and I wanted to leave these empty, right? Because they're portals. So you can travel through the portals. They're like 10 portals, space portals, The flower of life in the middle, that's represent of the sacred feminine, but it's also the fifth element, right? The activation in the middle is still the life, the human. Okay, we are still the intelligence, the brain in the middle to activate everything. You can have all the elements that you want, you still need to have the brain, the intelligence to be able to put all the elements together. So I put the flower of life in the middle. And also, I started working out, and I have joints problem because I started working out a lot when I never used to work out so much. And so every time I work out now, my joints hurt. And I painted glitter like that, like, because I'm taking a lot of supplements, creatine, vitamins, and it's like I wanted to cover all my joints. You see how all the connections here, the like the ligaments, the joints, the connections. I wanted to cover it all with supplements, nutrients. So you see, you can see anything in that thing. So I started thinking of this like a human body, right? And with the formula within. But of course, it's also a vessel. The human body is a vessel. And so then while I was writing my team buildings, I put down this formula of the anti-gravity. And so tonight, I've also I'm sorry I keep yawning. Every time in all my video, I never yawn, but as soon as I start a video, I'm yawning. So I didn't think at all until right now I was going to do that on the painting. But I want to show you the process of how the ideas come. It's not that I start a painting, I know exactly what I'm going to paint. It's just step by step. Okay, so with my journey, and then my journey, my experience, then I'm transferring to you, okay, through the art. So you're collecting also the frequencies, the energy of everything. So you cannot do the same mistakes. For example, I don't recommend that you take these pre-workout formulas, because it's like it just made my heart beat. So I almost had a heart attack. I went to the store. I asked a pre-workout formula or creatine from my muscle recovery. The guy sold me this extreme pre-workout thing that's meant for like super big guys, with a lot of caffeine. And I tell him, I was like, are you sure I can take that? The caffeine, I never had a coffee in my life, so I don't take, I take just infusions. I'm like, yeah, you can take it, a full dose. I took a full dose. I almost had a heart attack. I worked out like crazy. I bruised my ankle. I mean, don't we don't need that. Our bodies naturally, we should be able to naturally be able to recover. Then, okay, taking some vitamins, supplements, a little bit of creatine for muscle recovery, yes. But also, see, I'm trying to do it with the painting to rebalance. So anyways, then I'm studying. Where's the book? The Tui Bei Tu. The Tui Bei Tu. Wow, the Tui Bei Tu, which is a Chinese book. Let me get it. A Chinese book I started reading, and that's pretty incredible because all the story is in there. Everything that's happening right now is in there. Many debates fill the room. Army of millions, stone on the head. The court uses miraculous methods to cause the army's demise. The people are lost in the Northwest. Beautiful spring may be good, but ending. Regret not to stay passive on the seat. Wow. See, okay, so I just opened a passage totally randomly, so I can talk about that. Because every time I open a passage, it's so speaking to what's happening, like the shootings at the moment, elections, society, even like the Amber and Johnny's trial on the court. Like, you can apply this to experiences of your own life, you can retrieve guidance, and but you're like, wow, it's so funny how the universe is a game, you know. Many debates fill the room, so we have many debates right now with the shootings, right, the weapons. Like, I just don't believe, I don't understand how people can still be in favor of guns. This is unbelievable, unacceptable. I'm raging about this topic. Like, I see the most stupidities on Facebook, like people who are like, oh, there is this kid who killed his friend with a rock. He hit him with a rock. He killed him. All right, that just makes him a bad kid. Then if he's gonna have a gun, he's still gonna be a bad kid. There's no difference. It's not the gun that's bad, it's the kid. Yeah, the only difference is that you rarely see a child or a teenager or a psychopath getting in a school with a bag full of rocks and starts throwing rocks at people and killing 30 people in 5 minutes. Okay, that just does not happen. Okay, the guy would already have to be able to carry the freaking bag full of rocks. Okay, then aim at it, and if he gets to get one kid, there's someone that's going to come and stop him before he gets to shoot the entire school. So guns is not acceptable. There is a difference between going to a shooting range and where it's supervised, you're renting the hour, just like I go through Axes. There is an Axe champ here in Jacksonville. You rent for an hour, you throw some axes, you get out of there, you don't have weapons on you. Okay, or being trained officials and first responders and stuff like that who are to protect you from criminals. There's a difference than having whoever person who's even and who's just walking around in the street. And I'm sorry, you don't have to have mental problems to be a criminal, because for myself to have been in a difficult divorce and we're two great persons, and just because of being on nerves from each other every day for 3 years, we've come to hands, we've come to insulting, we've come to become crazy. I broke stuff in my house out of madness because the dude was driving me mad, and I don't think I have mental problems. Maybe he does, I don't know. Of course I'm a perfect angel. But imagine whatever person, couple, family who goes into an argument has a gun in between. Imagine the parents are fighting, the kid wants to stop one of the parents, he knows there is a gun, he comes. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. You cannot have guns in households. You cannot have guns. Then the argument of be like, oh, but if you're a criminal, you're gonna find a gun. Yeah, same thing. You go to France, once you make it illegal, it makes it a lot more difficult to find it. Okay? When I used to have a medical marijuana card here in Florida, I go outside, I go to the store, I get my weed, I come home, I can, my cream, I can massage my foot with my cream. If I go to France, weed is illegal. I can find weed in 2 hours if I want. When I go there, I can ask all of my friends. I'm not gonna find a gun. Okay, I can ask 50 of my friends. I can't find a gun. I'm sorry, it's illegal. There's never has been any gun in France ever. Like, okay, if I'm a super bad criminal and I know all the gangsters in Nice and I go there, maybe I'll find a gun, but I must really want it. Okay, it's not like I can just go out in the street and buy a gun at the store. Okay, there's a big difference. Once it becomes illegal, you see someone with one, you call the police, they come and they remove it. Okay, so removing the violence, removing the guns, it's like the priority. Like, stop living in this fear that someone is going to come to your house and attack you, and like, wow, all these scenarios. Like, this is extreme. Okay, it's not. Anyways, army of millions, stone on the head. Oh my god, stone on the head is just exactly the example I was, the little kid who killed someone with a stone. army of millions. Yes, it's going to be a work of millions of army now to go and get all these guns one by one from people, but we're going to have to. And but stone on the head is also what I'm about to talk to you about, the gravity, the crystals in the head. Now we're replacing the gun, the war system, by technology. I always say it. The military is not meant to fight for war. The military is here to stand for peace. Okay, so it's not because you're in the military that you should be sent to war. You should be sent to peace. Okay, when there's no more war in the world, there will still be a military. They will be going out to other countries to bring their help, to bring that technology, to bring education, to bring food, medicine, and this is what the military should be meant for. Okay, the Constitution was written 200 years ago by people who, they didn't have rifle guns, they didn't have like whatever kind of guns that you find nowadays 200 years ago. Okay, so you can't apply a law from 200 years ago to now that the technology is completely evolving. It just doesn't make sense. So why do you keep paying NASA then if you want to stay back then? Just grab a horse and a little how do you call it, like a little trailer behind a horse, and you want to evolve or you don't. So the laws, they need to evolve as well. So now the Navy, the military, all of this is going to be the technology. So here we come now from beautiful spring may be good, but ending. It's funny because the spring is ending right now. Regret not to stay passive on the seats. So you can understand it both ways. Regret not the time, when I've been at home a lot, and I'm saying from my experience, but you might interpret it a different way. I've been home a lot, not passive because I'm always active. I'm always doing something, right? It's like, don't regret those time because better time will come. But at the same time, it's also an advice for the future. Don't have regrets of not taking part of what's coming. Okay, so if you're watching this, it's the same for you. Don't regret to not have your opinion. And this is also something that I stand for, is that we speak our mind. Okay, because I've been through 3 years of hell because I came here to America, to Jacksonville. I was telling all about this stuff and people thought I was crazy, and then I was bullied, harassed. I say it all the time. You know the story, or you don't, but one day you will. And then I was just like, what do I do? Like, do I keep silence? Do I have to keep talking? Like, it's hard for someone to manage to shut my mouth. Honestly, it's like I can't stand injustice, but many people did not even want to be associated with me because they were like scared to be associated. I don't know, be judged or what. Thing is, I don't care what people think of me, and I care because I love the people. I don't want to hurt people, but after nobody wants to be associated with you, you're like, okay, well, now you guys just think whatever you want. But I think it's sad that to be in a society where people, they feel like they can't express themselves, they can't open up on these topics, as crazy as it sounds. Okay, because then when you're crazy and you open up, it opens you up to the most incredible things. So I was reading all this, and so then I'm also interested in the Chinese chakras. Sorry. The chakras. So I was studying the chakras with the ninja signs, how they see it in a circular way and not in a linear way. And so it led me to think, and then the elements. So I started to see one thing after another. I was like, okay, now I'm going to find the elements. So I found those, which is wind, fire, shadow, light, water, and earth. Okay. So I was like, oh, I'm going to put these elements there today. And I was like, oh, I already did that. It's nothing new. And then I was like, oh, I know. I need to put the element for my formula. Okay, so full circle, we're back at it. But just to show you all the process, and it's rare that I just do the painting in one time, you know, and most of the time I have to do edits on it. And so then I found the symbols for my formula. So 25 minutes later, we get to the point that if you're going to paint, if you're going to use this alchemical process and powers to create, channel information and then create it, because this that I'm creating now, it's going to be like a talisman. I don't know, it's going to be like the formula, right? The original formula. You can create your own formulas for whatever thing you're looking for. Okay, so here's how it works. Okay, so I found, okay, so the lightning, this one is the lightning, okay, because you need a force to initiate the process, right? A natural force. So you can use solar panel, renewable energies. Okay, so I'm thinking having like solar energy on the top of the vessel to initiate, to launch. Okay, and then to minimize the amount of energy that you use from the solar, all the crystal, the vibration inside, once it's activated, it just like the energy keeps circulating all around. Okay, so essentially with a very little amount of energy to start the vessel, then you can activate it. The lightning that converts into fire, so the heat, the temperature that affects the crystals. Okay, so you see this sign for crystals. And then for the anti-gravity, I was like finding a force that is like like two magnets. You know, when you have two magnets that attract each other, right? So this would be for a landing, right? A landing use the gravity force, so the natural gravity of the earth. But when you want to take off, you reverse engineering, you use the anti-gravity, the repulsion from two magnets, right? So finding a frequency that is opposite to the frequency of the ground, right? Program this to the ship so it can, then you can augment that pressure, that frequency. So with the crystal, the temperature, the pressure that's generated. So imagine you put water in the ice tray, but this time it's closed. Okay, so it's like a closed, not the ashtray, what am I talking about? The tray, sorry, the ice tray. You close it. Okay, you fill it with water and you close it. What's going to happen when the water ices? It's going to break, it's going to create a pressure, right, on the tray. So it's the same with the crystal. It's going to create that pressure, right, from heating the crystal and this energy that creates a pressure that elevates from the ground, that pushes. Just like when you're pushing a leaf like this, essentially you're pushing the energy like this, but because it's not combustion, it's anti-gravity, right? So it's more stable. You don't have to have that high pressure and speed to take off, because you can control at any level, you can control the pressure. And then, so you see, this was the symbol of the magnet. But then I was like, okay, see, these are two magnets. Yeah. I was like, maybe if I reverse the magnet here, it creates an anti-force. Then the vibration. Okay, the vibration from the crystals and the sound. The steel, the symbol of steel, the metal. and the lightning back in the sky. So then I was like, okay, so how do I place them? Because then once I found the symbol, now how do I place them around the painting? So that was the question. Okay, let me show you on my book. Oh, there is a little quote. Don't compare yourself to the success of others. Winners focus on winning, while losers focus on winners. Keep your eyes on your goals and work towards achieving them. Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. Okay, so you see these were the two. But I was like, no, this is the way, because the initial force, the lightning, creates the fire, goes, activates the crystals creates a vibration that is amplified by the vibration of the sound, that just generates into the vessel, the steel, and the magnetic force that pulls up to the sky. But then I was like, that's still, then I was like, it also looks like a map. Okay, like a visualize. So do we want the vessel right here? Or do we want the vessel high up in the sky? I was like, maybe if the formula is like this, it's not powerful enough. The magnet needs to be underneath. Because remember, the problem is the gravity, the pulling from the earth. Okay? So, unless we find a gravity from the sky that can attract the vessel towards the sky, but our problem that we're defying is the gravity from the earth. Okay, so we need the magnet to be under the steel. We need the vessel to be high up in the sky. So I'm going to put the magnet here, and I'm going to reverse the symbol. I'm going to reverse the symbol here instead of having it. See, if this is the symbol of the magnet and I want it to be an anti-magnet, I'm going to reverse this one. Just this, you see how they're two symmetrical? I'm going to actually reverse it so it's perfectly symmetrical. Okay, so it's going to be like a pushing force. Okay, and it's funny because as soon as I did that, and you see I drew just like this, I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. I drew this little spaceship right here. And it's funny because compared to the first place where I had positioned the crystal right here, the little spaceship came to abduct it and moving to another place. You see how all this is alive. I'm not crazy. It's like the painting, the symbols, they're alive. They come through my hand, and it's like I had it right here. See, I already drew them and everything. I drew them, I was ready to paint it. And then last minute before I start painting, I'm like, wait, that's not the right order. That's not the right order. It's going to be placed a different way because it's important. It's the alchemy. If you don't put in right order, then something is going to be dysfunctional or not optimum. And but yeah, so I wanted to show you the steps before I actually paint it. I wanted to show you the step and how it is now and what actually made me change it. You see this little vessel here that came, just abducted the sign to put it here. So it's like they're all moving like that. And how I just converted that one, going to, and how the steel, to my opinion, should be on this in the sky position. So yeah. So you see now I had drawn them all. Now I need to repaint over them. The sun right here. So I'm gonna repaint over them tomorrow, and for the next session, hopefully I will have all the signs put down. But I thought I was gonna have it all done tonight. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna put signs here, and then I'm like, no, I can put this right here. If I put this right here, it does this. If I put this right there, it does this. So you actually, once they're done, once the paintings are done, it looks so simple. You're like, oh, they look so simple. It's just Metatrons cube. Everybody knows how to paint that, and the symbols are just placed like that. Okay, there is a reason why every sign is put at what place, and it's thought of. And see, then you have the magnet. We're gonna have the wherever they are placed, they have to also respond, okay, to what's in the front, okay, because then they can travel. Okay, so through the portals, they're related. They're related through the connection, through the portal. So this is literally like super powerful activation portal. Yeah, I'm excited about that one. I didn't expect that. I was gonna have like the formula of anti-gravity, but it's coming. Yeah. All right. Okay, let's keep it a short session for today. The Chinese prophecies. I was also reading Nostradamus and all that, but I'll record a long session at the end with everything. All right. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you for watching.